Hello Disa, uh, thank you for listening to my presentation. Today I'm going to be talking about resistance training in the youth, especially from the ages of 12 to 18 years old. Today I'm going to talk about why the topic is so controversial, why some people are against it and why some people are for it. The types of training that the children are doing and why the children may or may not participate in weights training. Over the last few years, increase in popularity and interest on this topic has just skyrocketed because it's so controversial, because older studies have shown, or they did show, that the growth plates in the children were being damaged and this could actually impair growth, whereas the newest studies have shown that this only happens in extenuating circumstances. The types of training that children are doing are muscular endurance and strength, and I'd like to reiterate that to begin with, the children should be using the cable machines rather than the free weights, and then as they get older and as they get better at the exercises is when they can move into free weights and get the benefits from free weights as well. The endurance training, weights training, is usually between 30 and 50% of the body weight of the child with increased reps, which is about 8 to 12 reps. Now this is actually a lower proportion of body weight percentage compared to an adult, just because the children are untrained and just because their capabilities are a little bit lower. With strength training, it's about 50 to 80% of the body weight percentage, with lower reps, which is usually about between 3 to 6 reps. Just the injury rates and how to prevent the injuries. The injury rates up to 15% per 100 hours is the probability of a child being hurt in a strength-based weights program, and 5% probability per 100 hours of participation for a muscular endurance based weights program. So the muscular endurance based is a lot more injury prevention. Now the strength training does show a increases a lot quicker than the muscular endurance program, but muscular endurance program shows a lot less injuries and seems to be a lot better for the children to handle technique and that kind of thing. A lot of the injuries occur because the weights are too heavy, and then technique gets poor because of this. Just because the repetitive motion trying to push out that much weight above their capability leads to bad technique and then leads to injuries, which can actually move on to the later stages of life, having joint problems and that kind of thing. The considerations that have been shown for programs, they should be incredibly personalised for each individual, just because the growth rate are not the same in each individual. So some people, they may have a massive growth spurt when they're only 12, but their friend playing the same sport may have it a bit later on. So you can't really have the same programs for the age groups, just because of this as well. And they must have constant supervision by a professional, just to make sure that their technique is pretty much spot on right through their whole set. Each rep must be watched, because otherwise injuries can happen. Just to conclude, the newer research has shown that injuries are actually a lot less than what have been preceded. Muscular endurance is actually a lot better for a child, because the injury rates are a lot lower, as well as the technique can be sustained for longer periods of time, just because the weight isn't that heavy and that taxing on the child. And just the children must have specialised programs, and they must be constantly watched by a professional while they're doing weights training. And thank you for listening to my presentation, and have a good day.